There's a moment in every person's life when they realize they've been sleepwalking through their own story. For Marcus, that moment came at 3 in the morning, standing in the emergency room with his mother's hand trembling in his. He was 17, just another kid in a sea of kids who thought time was infinite, that tomorrow would always be there. That potential was something you could keep in your pocket and pull out whenever you felt like it. Marcus had heard it all his life. Teachers said it, coaches said it, even strangers said it. That kid's got something special. But here's the thing about potential nobody tells you. It has an expiration date. Marcus was the kind of teenager who could do anything if he wanted to. Sharp mind, natural athlete, the type who could pick up a guitar and play a song after hearing it once. But he never wanted to. Not really. He'd gotten comfortable in the gray zone between effort and excuse, that dangerous place where talent goes to die slowly, quietly, without anyone noticing until it's already gone. Every morning, his alarm would scream at 5:30 for basketball practice. Every morning he'd hit snooze. His homework sat untouched in his backpack, pages crisp and white like fresh snow nobody wanted to disturb. His mother would ask about his dreams, and he'd shrug, scrolling through his phone, watching other people live the lives he told himself he'd live someday. Someday. That word became his drug of choice. His father had left when Marcus was 12. Not physically, but in every way that mattered. Present at dinner, absent in spirit. Marcus watched his dad drift through life like a ghost, working a job he hated, coming home to a couch that had molded to his shape, talking about all the things he almost did, almost started a business, almost went back to school, almost became someone. Marcus swore he'd never be like that. But every day he woke up and chose nothing. He was carving the same path, one small surrender at a time. His best friend Tyler tried to shake him awake. "Man, you're wasting it," Tyler would say, frustrated, passionate, alive in ways Marcus had forgotten how to be. Tyler was grinding, working 2 jobs, saving for college, training before school, studying after midnight. Tyler understood something Marcus didn't, that the world doesn't wait for you to feel ready. But Marcus would just laugh it off, make a joke, change the subject. It was easier to dim Tyler's light than to ignite his own. Then came that Tuesday in March. Marcus was sitting in his room, failing another online quiz he hadn't studied for, when his mother called from downstairs. Her voice sounded different, thinner, like it was traveling through water. He found her on the kitchen floor, pale, gasping, eyes wide with a fear he'd never seen before. The ambulance lights painted his neighborhood in shades of emergency. In the back of that vehicle, holding her hand, watching paramedics work with urgent precision, Marcus felt something crack open inside him. The hospital waiting room became his classroom. 4 hours of fluorescent lights and bad coffee and the smell of antiseptic, covering up something darker. He sat there, watching people. A father pacing, phone pressed to his ear, trying to hold his world together with words. A young woman crying silently, tissues piling up like small white mountains of grief. An old man staring at nothing, probably wondering where all his years had gone. And Marcus realized something that cut deeper than any lesson he'd ignored in school. Life doesn't send you a warning. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It just happens. And when it does, all that matters is what you built before the earthquake. His mother was okay. Exhaustion, stress, a warning shot from a body that had been working too hard for too long. She'd been carrying their whole world on her shoulders while Marcus sat in his room, squandering the gift she was killing herself to give him. When he finally sat beside her hospital bed, when she opened her eyes and smiled that smile that mothers save for their children, he felt the full weight of his waste. She whispered, "I'm sorry I scared you." And he almost broke. Because she was apologizing. She was the one lying in a hospital bed, and she was apologizing to him. "I just want you to have a better life than I did," she said, her voice cracking. "I want you to become everything you're capable of being." And right there, in that sterile room with machines beeping and nurses moving quietly past, Marcus understood the cruelest truth about potential. It's not yours alone. It's a gift someone gave you. usually someone who sacrificed their own dreams so you could have a chance at yours. He thought about his grandmother, who cleaned houses so his mother could go to school. He thought about his mother, working double shifts so he could have new shoes, could have a phone, could have opportunities she never had. He thought about all the invisible hands that had lifted him to this moment. And what had he done? He'd treated their sacrifice like it was optional, like he had forever to figure it out. Something shifted in Marcus that night. Not the Hollywood version where music swells and everything changes instantly. Real change is quieter. It's a decision you make in the dark, alone, when nobody's watching and there's no applause. He went home at dawn, and instead of going to sleep, he sat at his desk. He looked at his reflection in his black phone screen and barely recognized the person staring back. That kid looked tired. Not physically, spiritually tired. Tired from carrying the weight of unchosen choices. He started small. The next morning, when his alarm screamed at 5:30, he got up. His body fought him. His mind threw every excuse in the book. But he got up. He laced his shoes and ran. Not for college scouts, not for glory. For his mother, for his grandmother, for Tyler who never stopped believing. For himself, the self he'd been betraying every time he chose comfort over growth. The basketball court was empty, cold, the sun just a promise on the horizon. Marcus shot free throws in the silence, and each swish sounded like a small victory over the old version of himself. At school, he stayed after for tutoring, swallowed his pride and asked for help with calculus, with chemistry, with the essays he'd been half finishing for years. His teachers looked at him with cautious hope, like they'd seen this movie before and knew how it usually ended. But Marcus kept showing up, day after day after day. There were moments he wanted to quit, when his grades didn't jump overnight, when his jump shot still missed, when his friends laughed at him for trying so hard. But every time doubt crept in, he remembered that waiting room. He remembered what it felt like to realize you've been given something precious and treated it like trash. He remembered his mother's face, apologizing for being human, for having limits, for needing him to be stronger. 6 months later, Marcus was a different person. Not perfect, not finished, but different. His grades had climbed from C's and D's to A's and B's. He'd earned a starting spot on the basketball team. More importantly, he'd earned something no trophy could give him: self-respect. That quiet confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself when nobody's checking. His mother noticed. She'd catch him studying late and just stand in the doorway, not saying anything, just watching her son become the man she'd always known he could be. Tyler noticed too. "Bro, what happened to you?" he asked one day, genuine curiosity in his voice. Marcus thought about how to answer that. How do you explain that sometimes you need to see what you're about to lose before you understand what you have? How do you tell someone that waking up isn't comfortable, it's not fun, it's not Instagram worthy, it's just necessary? "I grew up," Marcus finally said. "I stopped waiting for my life to start and realized it already had." College acceptance letters came in March, exactly 1 year after that hospital visit. Marcus opened them with his mother, both of them crying, both of them understanding what these envelopes really meant. They weren't just tickets to universities. They were proof that change is possible, that it's never too late until it's too late. That potential means nothing until you do something with it. Here's what nobody tells you about waking up. It's painful. It means looking at all the time you wasted and not being able to get it back. It means facing the person you've been and deciding to become someone else. It means disappointing the version of yourself that wanted everything to be easy. But here's what they also don't tell you. On the other side of that pain is a life that actually feels like yours. Marcus learned that potential isn't a trophy you get for being smart or talented or lucky. It's a responsibility. It's what you owe to everyone who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. It's what you owe to the future version of yourself who's either going to thank you or curse you for the choices you make today. And most importantly, it's what you owe to the people who gave up their own dreams so you could chase yours. The real tragedy isn't failing. It's never trying. It's letting your gifts rot because you were too comfortable, too scared, too convinced you had more time. Time is the one thing you can't get back, can't negotiate with, can't charm or joke your way around. It just moves, indifferent to your excuses. And one day you look up and realize you're 40, 50, 60, living the life of almosts and should-haves, just like the people you swore you'd never become. Marcus stands at his high school graduation now, looking out at the crowd, seeing his mother in the front row, tears streaming down her face. He thinks about that 17-year-old kid who thought he had forever, who thought potential was something you could waste without consequence, who needed life to grab him by the shoulders and shake him awake. He's grateful for that wake-up call, even though it came wrapped in fear and hospital lights. Because some of us never get that call. Some of us sleepwalk all the way to the end. Your potential isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's asking you right now in this moment, what are you going to do with the time you have left? Are you going to honor the sacrifice of everyone who bet on you? Or are you going to let it slip away, one easy choice at a time? The alarm is ringing. The only question is, are you going to get up?